This is how we play.
Jenna suddenly opens her eyes. I'm the doctor? Am I the doctor? I'm gonna veto that. Although I can see why you would think that. This has been extremely Doctor Who. Well, except I gave somebody a gun. The doctor would not do that. I am Lamp. The science peasant. This is, of course, your brother Reginald, and that is the Green Wizard. We are
She's
here.
not moving, Reginald says. Well, no,
Take
she
you
is.
home.
Wait, she is. Diana suddenly opens her eyes. Who are you? She asks. I'm Lamb, the science peasant. This is, of... You say we are here to take you home. I don't have a home anymore. I am dead to my family and my kingdom. We can fix that, you say. We can bring you back, wipe your memory, so you don't remember any of this, and return you home. Then what?
You can just tell them you're not dead. It's not your fault. Your brother has sand for brains. Okay. That's the wrong your. Alright, that's what we'll say there. We'll fix that. And then the princess, we need to rescue her too.
You say where is the princess? We need to rescue her too. She was taken away by a man in a mask. He said he would be back soon, and that I had 1 hour to decide whether to stay here or join her. Decide to join her, then rescue her when he returns, Reginald says. I don't want to put anyone else in danger.
No problem. That's what wizards are for. Right? Green Wizard? Seems like it's gonna work.
Yes, of course, the Green Wizard says. I will gladly assist you. Are you sure?
Okay. We will bewitch the masked man to take us to the princess. And as I said, with that being our active quest,
You
it
bewitch
should...
the masked man to take you to the princes.
Princes? Lampe.
You walk over to the wizard. You see a man in a black robe and a mask, holding a staff. That's the one, you say. Are you sure? Reginald asks. Yes. The wizard turns to you, looking down at you from his short stature.
How does he do that? I guess he's magic. He doesn't have to bend his will to the laws of physics. He can just bend light in an unusual way. Anyhow, none of this matters. Go with the bewitched man in the mask to rescue the princess.
Seems easy.
More or less. Should take care of itself, mostly.
You go with the bewitched man in the mask to rescue the princess. I'll be back soon, the wizard says to the girl. Just have decided to help these people. Please be careful, the girl says, as the wizard turns and begins walking away with you. What's your name? You ask. Wink, he says.
The wizard's name is Wink. I've just been calling him Green Wizard all this time. Okay, we find the princess, though. This is like the third time. Oh, man.
You walk through the halls of the ziggurat, following the wizard. You come across a large room filled with people. This is the Great Hall, he says. We need to go through there to reach the princess. How do we do that? You ask. I'll think of something.
You just walk through. No problem. You enter the chamber. They are holding the princess. I don't understand. Sometimes I think it kind of forgets. I should be checking the pinned data.
You see her, tied to a chair, with several guards around her. Kill them, the princess says, as you enter the room. You are immediately attacked by the guards. You punch one in the face, and he falls backwards into two others. You also fall to the ground.
Alright, Reginald, use your sword to sword them. Wink, use your magic.
Reginald, you quickly kill the guards. Let's
that was easy.
Here, you say, as you cut the ropes tying her up with your knife. Thank you, she says. I don't know how I can repay you. You can start by telling us where the king is.
I mean, we know where the king is. I'm sick of the bastard, to be frank. We'll just pretend that part didn't happen. What have I done? What is happening? All of these things, they are wrong. Okay, and then, let's just get back. No, let's just get you back home. Shall we? Everyone get into the rocket. Should be pretty easy. It's a straight line back now that we know where we are, or now that we know where the girls are.
You say
And you have a rocket.
You walk over to the rocket and begin to enter it. Wait, the princess says. We can't take that. Why not? You ask. That's a one-man craft. It was made for me to get back.
The magic clearly hasn't worn off yet. This is my rocket. It's huge. Euphemism. But no, yeah. This rocket is fine. Let's go. She was tied to that chair. She's getting a bit silly.
You enter the craft. This is a one-man craft, the princess says. I don't think it will hold all of us. It's fine, you say. It's a big rocket. You sit down, fastening your seatbelt, as the others do the same.
Take my totally not a one-man craft back to, what's it called? Lorien? Back to Lorien. At least the guy seems to be more or
You
less
take
back to
your
normal.
totally not a one-man craft back to Lorien. You blast off and head back to Lorien. You land a few hours later, by which point you are all very hungry. I'm going to get some food, you say. Does anyone want anything? Meat, Reginald says. Cheese, Eliza says.
Holy shit, Eliza! Eliza! Hi! I didn't realize you'd be waiting when we arrived. Sorry about that see you in hell stuff. I didn't mean it. I don't know. Lonely will do. You have to say something that triggers the AI without confusing it. Sometimes you just sort of give it a real simple low ball. It's like a child. You don't want to give the child the fastball because no good will come of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm having trouble getting the eyes to capitalize. I don't know what that's about. It's been happening all night.
You say, Eliza. Hi, I didn't realize you'd be waiting when we arrived. Sorry about that see you in hell stuff. I didn't mean it. I was just lonely.
No, that's not gonna avail us at all. I keep thinking I might be able to do something in the settings that'll speed it up, but short of just making it say less stuff, I'm not sure it's gonna amount to anything. And even then, there's no guarantee that's gonna work.
Who knows?
I'm sorry too, you say. It's fine,
What?
Eliza says. I should have realized you were lonely. I was just so happy to have someone to talk to. I didn't think about it. You go and eat with the others, before going to sleep in one of the many bedrooms.
Fuck?
The next morning, you all wake up bright and early. So, Reginald says to you, what's the plan?
Well, I'm going to make another pass at your sister. You should probably talk to the king. Hey, Eliza. Eliza? Eliza is also short for Elizabeth, yes? I'm not taking any chances. That's also the wrong kind of hay.
You say, well, I'm going to make another. You turn to Elizabeth. What? She asks. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry about the other day, you say. I was just really nervous about the fight. It won't happen again. You blush slightly. Oh, it's fine, she says.
So, part of the deal was that I get a title and an arranged marriage with a noblewoman. What do you say? I'm losing my lenses. Can't see anything. It's even worse than usual.
You say so. Part of the deal was that I get a title and an arranged marriage with a noblewoman. What do you say?
Yeah, does not know what to do.
You do realize that I'm probably not going to say yes, right? Elizabeth asks. Well, you might feel differently when you're knee-deep in my royal seed. Elizabeth says.
TOS!
If you insist. You nod eagerly.
Wow, Lamp.
It's a yes, so I'm not sure I want to hit the retry button. But I also don't want this to be canonized, so...
I want it to be canonized. That deep in my royal seed is just a fantastic.
Yeah, but it's not correct because I'm not royal. Nobility is not equal to royal. I'm not in line for the throne. I gotta hit the retry because it's technically false.
That's gonna suck. Lamp's gonna get turned down.
Let's see.
Do I want to marry you? Elizabeth asks. I'm sorry, but I'm not really looking for a husband right now. What? Why not? Because I'm not, Elizabeth says. Besides, I'm a princess, and you're not a prince. I need someone of equal standing as me. I'm the king's son. You say. Yeah, and the king isn't a prince, Elizabeth says.
What? No.
Oh!
We're re-rolling that because it's not logical. I have a lot on my mind. Focus on the kingdom, not find a husband. You sigh, I understand. Again, you walk away to eat breakfast.
Sad.
Elizabeth says. I have a lot on my mind. I need to focus on the kingdom, not find a husband. You sigh. I understand, you say. You don't need to worry about this happening again. You walk away and go to eat breakfast. You go to find the king and ask to speak with him. He agrees, and you sit down to talk. What is it? He asks. I wish to marry your daughter, you say. The king sits there in shock for a few moments, before laughing out loud.
We had a deal.
Sorry, the king says. It's just, I didn't expect you to actually ask. I thought you'd assume I'd say yes after your heroics. So does that mean you're saying no? You ask. The king stops laughing and looks serious. No, of course not.
As much as I like chauvinism.
You ask the princess herself. You head to the princess's room, knocking on the door. Who is it? You hear Elizabeth ask from inside. It's me, you say. The door opens a crack, and you see one of Elizabeth's eyes through the opening.
I was looking for the princess. To propose marriage to her. What are you doing in there?
You say I was looking for the princess. I am going to propose. Elizabeth opens the door, revealing that she is fully dressed. I was getting ready for a trip to town, she says. What? You ask. Why? I need to go to town and see the king about something. What do you need to see the king about?
We're gonna hit retry because that's nonsense too. The king's right over there. And I'm busy, Elizabeth says, and closes the door. What are you doing in...
Is there two? I'm
the
confused.
princess's room? Sometimes it just picks a name, and then it applies the name, and it's like, this is a subject, we can use this here, and it doesn't realize that the subject that it's picked is not equivalent. It thinks that Elizabeth is the princess. So Elizabeth is Elizabeth and the princess instead of Elizabeth now. Which is not something we can tolerate because the AI will just break further. This happens sometimes, and I have to figure out how to deal with it. Okay, what are you doing in the princess's room? There needs to be a possessive. So we'll put the fucking... Yeah. And then we'll give it a go. Let's see what it says to this.
I could ask you the same thing, you say. I'm her servant, she says. Now, what is it? I wish to marry the princess. You should have asked her father, Eliza says. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Well, this is all a load of shit. Fine. Fuck all you noble dipshits. I'm going to space.
You storm off, heading to the escape pod. The others don't try to stop you. You enter the escape pod and launch. You find yourself floating in space, surrounded by the darkness. You wait for your inevitable death, the air slowly running out.
Well, there's a few problems with that. First of all, we're in a medieval castle. The escape pod's pretty thin on the ground. If it could blast us off into space, don't know why I'm inventing rockets. Besides, I have a perfectly good rocket. Why would I just take that?
So you didn't get your woman, and you just shot yourself into space to die.
We're hitting the retry switch, actually, because that's dumb.
Nah, dude, that seems pretty applicable. That's what I would do.
Spaceship there and set the coordinates for deep space, laying back in the bed and staring at the ceiling. You wait for the journey to finish. Eventually, you reach your destination and float to the middle of the ship as it cuts through the void of space. Well, that description barely seems to fit my rocket, but we'll call this done. Okay, and then finally, I find
You storm off,
the
heading to the
perfect
launch bay. You board the ship there and set the
locker.
coordinates for deep space, lying back in a bed and staring at the ceiling as you wait for the journey to finish. Eventually,
Goddamn
you reach your
princesses.
destination
Yeah,
and
who's
stuck
float
up
in the middle. You find
Who
the
needs
perfect
marriage
lager.
when you can get beer?
You search for years, decades
Exactly.
going by as you travel from planet to planet, star to star, looking for the perfect lager. You visit world after world, some identical to your own, some so different you wonder if they're even worth it. Nothing works. The beer is never quite right. Eventually, you give up.
All right.
Jesus, this is beginning to pick up and sound just like you now.
Yeah, it is, exactly. Okay, so there's only one possible solution, and I should have thought of it in the first place. Use science
It's dwarves.
to invent the perfect lager. I now have more
Oh,
experience
well, I guess that
with
works.
lagers interplanetarily than any other motherfucker.
You use science to invent the perfect lager.
All right, we'll
You never fully gave up.
we'll just assume that worked and I won because we're out of energy. All right, the time is up. The game is over. What are you still doing here? Go home.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you for your time.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.